I love you.
What is going on, everybody? This is Mike Hughes, aka the Shy Kid, baby, and you are listening to Mike on the Mic, and everything Chicago sports related podcast. We are breaking down everything Chicago Bears, baby. I'm hype about it. Officially, I would like to say we're back. I'm reinstating the hat. Because after today's pro day of Caleb Williams, I am fully confident. I am fully engulfed in the Caleb Williams fandom and the Caleb Williams sweepstake. I'm sold. I'm really excited from what we saw today at the pro day. You know, there was a lot of things that went down. There were a lot of different conversations, a lot of different storylines that I think we were all trying to figure out. The big one for me, and the one that I think is most important, there was nothing. I want to say this on record because I think it's important. There was nothing Caleb Williams did today that I didn't already know. I already knew he could throw 70-yard bombs. I already knew he had the sidearm throws and that he could be a pocket passer and that he could do the short throws. He could do the long throws. He could be a mid-range guy. I already knew all of this. Him and Brendan Rice didn't do anything that I already didn't know the two were capable of doing together. They worked at USC together for 2-3 years. So I already knew that. What I loved from Caleb Williams was how poised he was in the pocket, how great he was with the media, how friendly he was, how open and real he was. I mean, you even heard the man say vocally, you know, people want to say that I want ownership. People want to say that I said this, I said that. But in reality, I never said any of this. So Caleb made it known. Listen, I know I have a bad rep. Listen, I know a lot of people say I'm not a good guy, a good teammate, a good person, whatever. But he said it's for me to change that narrative. And I'm really excited about what the future looks like for Caleb Williams. Now, here's what's crazy. Here's the real conversation. At the end of the day, he could be playing us. Caleb Williams could be capping this entire time, and he's just doing this to make sure that he's the number one overall pick. That is definitely a possibility. But if he's doing it, he's doing a pretty good job. And that's all I'll say. That is all I'll say. And we're live right now. So I'm going to be answering some questions, answering opinions, you know, whatever anybody has right now. If you want to tap in, ask a couple questions, or even just get your opinions out there, definitely tap in. You know, I see a lot of people say Caleb Williams is not that guy. Caleb Williams is not our quarterback. We do not want Caleb. You know, here's the thing. As Bears fans, why? Like, I'm going to pose this question, and I think it's an important one to answer real. Be real when you answer this question. If the Chicago Bears in 2023 rolled out Nick Foles, Andy Dalton, or Mitch Trubisky, would you want Caleb Williams? Be real. Like, if the only reason you don't want Caleb Williams is because of what some guy on Twitter told you, or because you were a Justin Fields fan, like, that's fine. You know what I mean? But you have to look at it for what it is at the end of the day. Everyone says, dude, what? Justin Fields. It's over, bro. It's over. As a Fields fan, where's my Fields jersey? I think it's over there. But, you know, I'm looking at it for what it is. Justin Fields is a Pittsburgh Steeler. Caleb Williams is a Chicago Bear. That's just what it is. And if you're a diehard, real Chicago Bears fan, you accept that. You accept that because that's what it is. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, there's nothing we can do to get Justin back. There's nothing we can do to get us into a point to where, you know, we draft Marvin Harrison Jr. and Justin Fields is QB1 and Kumbaya. We're all singing songs. Like, it's just not the case. You know what I mean? Like, there is no chance that we don't go Caleb Williams. Whether you think it's Drake May or Jaden Daniels, at this point in time, there's no chance. There's not a shot in the world. And if there is, I'll stand corrected. But man, I mean, you can't pass up on him. You can't. I thought it was cool today though at the pro day. I thought it was really dope to see not only Matt Eberflus geeking over Caleb Williams, but you saw obviously big shades on. Ryan Poles was just sitting there unamused. And then of course you had Keenan Allen there, and Keenan Allen being there I thought was huge. Keenan and Caleb kind of talked about their relationship. It's been growing for quite some time now, according to Caleb. So I think it's cool that they already have a relationship prior to him going to the Bears. I think that's definitely going to help, but it's going to be interesting. And even Sal says right here, bro, the numbers don't lie. Fields was 10-24. I believe it was 10-28 too, if I'm not mistaken. And I understand, a rebuilding team that comes with that. You know what I mean? But Caleb Williams, at the end of the day, 10,000 passing yards, over 100 total touchdowns. Pardon me, over 100 total touchdowns, 960 rushing yards, 27 rushing touchdowns, 93 passing touchdowns. A Heisman. You know what I mean? Almost won another Heisman. Like, listen, and who is this right here? Charlie says, you sound like ESPN media. Listen, brother, like, hello, brother. Shout out Sketch. Listen, you might feel that way, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, if you tuned into me 3 weeks ago, I was advocating. I said, listen, I think Justin Fields is that guy. I still believe in Justin Fields to this day, even in Pittsburgh, even beyond that. I think he can be a starting quarterback. But here's the thing. It's done. The clock is out. Time's ticking, and it's on the Caleb Williams clock now. There is nothing we can do about Justin being gone. And as soon as Bears fans accept that and open up to this new era of Bears football, the faster we can move on. You know what I mean? Like, as much as I love JF1, you know what I mean? A dog, an absolute monster. We know how much he was beloved here. You're just in a situation right now where you have to accept that we moved on. That's just what it is. And, I know that sucks for some people, but at the end of the day, you got a rookie quarterback who is the highest thought of prospect since Andrew Luck. There's potential there. You have a top 5, top 10 defense. You want to argue that, it's perfectly fine. And then you have a total new revamped offensive line with Shane Waldron, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, DeAndre Swift, and Cole Kmet. Like, there's nothing you can do. Charlie, I know you might not like that, brother, but what else are you going to do at this point in time if you're a Bears fan other than accept Caleb Williams? Like, do you want me to hate Caleb Williams just because I'm a Justin Fields fan? I'm reading the comments, and I'm not trying to argue with everybody. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. And I know a lot of people are like, well, an Andrew Luck caliber prospect doesn't mean anything. Andrew Luck never won a Super Bowl. He's a bust. Andrew Luck went through hella injuries, and that's a totally different conversation. You know what I mean? But when he was at his peak, who he was supposed to be is where they're thought of saying this is who Caleb Williams has the potential to be. You know what I mean? They're not talking about the injuries. They're not talking about him retiring early. They're talking about the talent that he has is equal to or more than what we saw from Andrew Luck coming out of college. Patrick Mahomes-esque level talent. We've seen the sidearm throws. We've seen the deep balls. Listen, I'm not advocating. I'm not saying I'm the biggest Caleb Williams fan in the world. But I'll tell you what, I'm a diehard Bears fan, and I'm sitting here talking about him every single day, even when there's nothing to talk about. So if that's my QB, that's my QB. We can't be mad at Caleb Williams for something he had no control over. You know what I mean? Like, I understand you like Justin Fields. I understand maybe you even like Tyson Bagent, who's currently QB1. Shout out Tyson Bagent. Currently today, as it sits on March 20th, 2024, Tyson Bagent is QB1 of the Chicago Bears, and there is no arguing about that. And if anybody thinks it's the other cat that they just signed from the Rams, come on, bro. I mean, Tyson's got 2 wins under his belt. He's definitely QB1 as of right now, or at least QB2. But yeah, man, I think you understand what happened with Fields. And you understand to this comment right here. So you would say that Justin got the short end of the stick. 100%. You understand that it was unfair. You understand that, honestly, if we're being completely honest, I think Ryan Poles did more for Caleb Williams in one offseason than he did for Justin Fields in 3 years. Like, is that fair? Is that fair to say that? Would you say that's fair to say that? Like, I would. I would. Like, if you're like, let's break down last year. Last year, you bring in DJ Moore, get a couple weapons, and then after that, you extend Montez Sweat, extend Jalen Johnson, bring in Keenan Allen, DeAndre Swift, Kevin Byard, a bunch of other individuals as well, and then you have this year's draft. So, like, you know what I mean? I would say that Ryan Poles has done way more for Caleb Williams in a span of 3 months than what that he did for Justin in 3 years. Like, let's be real. You got rid of Khalil Mack, you got rid of Akeem Hicks, you got rid of all these other cats. So it's exciting to see, what could potentially happen with Caleb Williams, but you also understand that, there was a guy who got the short end of the stick. Um, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what could potentially happen. I'm excited to see, how good Caleb could potentially be. Um, it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun, man. And I think it's gonna come down to how much success he can have right away. You know what I mean? And I think realistically, we talked about this yesterday, and I would love to get the opinions of everybody else. Somebody said, "Where is your ceiling for Caleb Williams?" My ceiling for Caleb Williams in his rookie year is actually something similar to what we saw from Mitchell Trubisky in 2018. When you look at I'm not saying from a athletic standpoint or what we see on the field, but statistically, if in a rookie season you can get 3,223 passing yards, 24 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. Now, Mitch did this in 14 games, so he probably would have had even more. Probably would have had close to 4,000 yards if he finished the season healthy. And if they had that extra game in 2018, if they would have played a 17 game season, I think that's interesting. But I think if you look at Caleb right now, I think in his rookie year with the talent that he has, I would look at a minimum from 24 to 26 touchdowns. I think that's where really I'm at for a player of his caliber. Like, let's look at CJ Stroud in his rookie year. CJ Stroud in his rookie year. Now, obviously, it's an extremely rare case where a rookie has that much success. CJ Stroud has 4,108 passing yards, 23 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. I would say today that Caleb Williams is in a much better situation going into the Bears than we saw CJ Stroud going into the Texans. So that's really where I'm at. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be interesting. What about Williams' height? Williams is 6'1", if I'm not mistaken. Andrew says my expectations are way too high. If you think 24 passing touchdowns is way too high, 3,000 yards, 24 touchdowns, 25 touchdowns, what's everybody's realistic expectations statistically for Caleb Williams? Let's not talk about wins. Let's not talk about all that other stuff. Like, if you have DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, DeAndre Swift, Cole Kmet, a top 10 defense, and Shane Waldron as your offensive coordinator, what are the statistics that you need? Like, I mean, you can't sit here and tell me you want 15 touchdowns from Caleb Williams when he's thought, like, here's my argument, right? Here's where a bunch of Fields fans will come back with me. If we traded away Justin Fields and then you get Caleb Williams and he has anything less than 3,000 yards in his first year, when everyone's been saying he's the next Andrew Luck, he's the next Peyton Manning, he's the next Patrick Mahomes, you're a damn, bro. Really? If we win anything less than 7 games, you're what? You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I'm not sitting here saying the guy has to throw 5,000 yards, 40 touchdowns. Like, Caleb threw 23 or CJ threw 23 touchdowns and he won offensive rookie of the year. You know what I mean? 5 interceptions. Now, I don't think the interceptions will be that low for Caleb Williams. I think he'll be anywhere from, I would say, anywhere from 9 to 12, I think is where he would sit. Um, but yeah, come on, bro. You're sitting here telling me you don't have good expectations for the kid in his rookie season. Like, as long as it's better than Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson in his rookie year, I believe he had like 577 passing yards. I understand he got injured really early on, but like, it's 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 59% completion percentage. Like that's horrible. You know what I mean? So, like, at the end of the day, man, if you're in this spot right now where you have low expectations for Caleb Williams, I think you're looking at it completely wrong. You know what I mean? And CJ Stroud is, Andrew, to your point, CJ Stroud is an outlier. 4,000 yards is crazy. 23 to 5 touchdown interception ratio is wild. But that's why I'm more so okay, let's get 3,000 yards under your belt. We know he's a pocket passer first. He's going to be pass first. He even said today, I can run. He doesn't like to run. He would rather pass first. So you have Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, DeAndre Swift. Why can't you throw 3,000 yards? Bless me. Pardon me. Sorry. Oh man. But yeah, let's be real. And here's the thing. Right here, Andrew says majority of rookies don't throw over 20 passing touchdowns. Majority of rookies don't come into a situation where they have DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. Majority of rookies don't come into a situation where they're the number one overall pick and they have everything at their helm, everything in their fingertips. This isn't a normal rookie. This is one of the most thought of prospects since Andrew Luck. He's getting compared to Patrick Mahomes. You have a whole new offensive coordinator, and you have everything at your fingertips. So don't treat this like a rookie. Like if you're a Bears fan right now, you do not treat this kid like any other rookie. You got to be better. You got to be that guy. We're done making excuses. We gave Justin, oh, yeah, the rebuild. Woo, woo, woo. Mitch Trubisky. Maybe Nagy just didn't use him right. Jay Cutler. 6 offensive coordinators in 8 years. Everything right now for Caleb Williams, perfect. Chef's kiss. So you better go out there and you better ball out. I'm not saying win an MVP. I'm not saying we win the Super Bowl. I'm saying you go out there and you show everybody why you were the number one overall pick and why they shouldn't be looking at guys like J.J. McCarthy and Jaden Daniels and Drake May. And Johnny says, accept your head coach. Head coach is fine. The only problem with Flus was he didn't have an offensive coordinator. So he's talking out his ass offensively. You know what I mean? He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's getting asked questions about Fields. He doesn't even know what to do with them. And Luke Getsy just got to walk past the podium every fucking Sunday like he didn't just run the ball 6 straight times against Green Bay. Trash. You know what I mean? So you bring in Shane Waldron? Cool. This is a guy who's been to the Super Bowl with the LA Rams and Sean McVay. This is a guy who's worked with Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. This is a guy who's worked with Pete Carroll, Russell Wilson, and resurrected Geno Smith. I trust Shane Waldron in order to help a guy like Caleb Williams develop, especially when you look at how you have Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, and the rest of them boys offensively. Southside Chicago, Chi-Town says, let's talk Bulls and Blackhawks. Let's not. How about that? Shout out to the Bulls. Shout out Io. Shout out Kobe. Shout out Drummond. Other than that, shout out DeMar too. Other than that, it ain't got nothing going on. And Blackhawks have already been eliminated. Shout out Connor Bedard. It's always love for Bedard. I'm actually trying to go to a game sometime soon before his rookie season's over, just to say I seen him in his rookie year. But absolute stud. I'm excited to see what they do in the draft. But back on Bears, number 9 pick, I think it's interesting. I think there's a lot of different conversations floating around right now. I think one of the bigger ones that a lot of people aren't ready for is I don't think Malik Neighbors or Rome Odunze are going to be available at 9. I think they're both gone. We talk about it all the time from picks, obviously 1 through 3, Chicago, Washington, and New England. They're going quarterback more than likely. And then obviously you look at 4 through 8 before the Bears, you have, if I'm not mistaken, in this order, the Arizona Cardinals, who don't have a wide receiver. You have the Los Angeles Chargers, who got rid of all their wide receivers, running backs, tight ends. They got rid of everything. They could go O-line. But I would imagine they would get Justin Herbert a real weapon. Then you have number 6, the New York Giants. They could go quarterback depending on the situation, but if the top 3 are gone, I don't see them replacing Daniel Jones with J.J. McCarthy. It's just the pot calling the kettle black. And then so I see them going wide receiver. They've been rocking out with Kenny Golladay and Kadarius Toney for way too long. Those caliber type players. Now Saquon's gone too, so you need another offensive weapon. That's 6. Then 7, you have the Titans. Could be interesting with where they go. They could go O-line. They could go defensive line. They could go Brock Bowers. Then you have 8. You have the Atlanta Falcons, who I think could go wide receiver, but also could bring in a Dallas Turner or a Jared Verse. So if I'm the Bears, I know that was long-winded. Right now, Fashanu is one of those guys I'm looking at if they trade back. But if they have the number 9 pick and either of these two are available in Jared Verse or Dallas Turner, I think that's where they go. if Rome Odunze or Malik Neighbors are available, I take them before the pass rushers without a doubt. But I definitely would be in favor of taking a wide receiver. I definitely would, just because Keenan Allen's on a 1-year deal. You don't know if he's going to extend. I would love for him to extend, and I think him being at Caleb Williams' pro day today helps allude that he's all in on the Bears right now. He's with Flus, he's with Poles, he's with Caleb right now. And then obviously DJ Moore is going to be a free agent at the end of the 2025 season. He was on a relatively really cheap deal with Carolina getting traded here. So he's going to be looking for that payday. So if you have a Malik Neighbors or a Rome Odunze, you're putting yourself up for success when it comes to pairing Caleb Williams up with a rookie wide receiver who's going to grow with him and run with him from start to finish. You know what I mean? So I think that's your security blanket at the wide receiver position. Kind of just like how Seattle brings in DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, but they still draft Jackson Smith-Njigba. Why? Tyler Scott's aging, or pardon me, Tyler Lockett's aging. And then you don't know what was going to happen with DK at that time. So, I think that's really where I'm at the end of the day. Really quick, just want to say I appreciate everybody who smacked that follow button thus far. Everybody who's new to the community, welcome. We go live every single day talking Chicago Bears football, talking Chicago sports. Appreciate everybody tuning in. If you're new here, smack that follow button, smack that like button. It really does help us out a lot. Share this out to whoever you think loves Chicago Bears football. But it's going to be interesting to see, how everything else transpires. And here's some news that I saw on Twitter today. And actually my boy Connor Burns actually reported it first on TikTok, but I want to discuss it. The Chicago Bears are one of the only teams who haven't been on HBO's Hard Knocks yet. And I think this could be the year that they actually do it, just because the NFL is going to be like, listen, you have Caleb Williams, one of the highest prospects in decades, and you have the top 10 defense that you already have. You just got rid of Justin Fields. You brought in Keenan Allen and all these guys. Like, you definitely could see the Chicago Bears on Hard Knocks this summer. And I would absolutely love that. I think that would be really sick. We haven't gotten to see that before. I'm a huge fan of Hard Knocks. You get to go inside the minds of players throughout training camp, where they're at. You get to learn about their families, their friends, how they feel about, certain moves going down. I would love to hear JJ and DJ talk about, getting to learn and grow with Caleb Williams and getting over Justin Fields and how they all felt about it. I imagine that would be an entire segment. It would be dope. It would be dope to be on Hard Knocks. You know what I mean? Like, you're in the monsters of the Midway are back. That's the narrative. You know what I mean? And you have all these guys, and Matt Eberflus with the hits principle, and he's a fun guy. He's a likable guy. He's got the new beard. He looks fresh. You know what I mean? Ryan Poles watching from afar with the shades and the visors on. And then of course you get to see Caleb Williams and whoever they draft at number 9. So, and you know what? Who is this? Scorpio says you don't want to be on Hard Knocks. It's a jinx. I could definitely understand where it's like you don't even want to deal with Hard Knocks, especially when there's been these are rumors and speculations, but it's rumored that Caleb Williams has the ego and he's all about himself. So if you have more cameras and more spotlight on him, it's going to be 10 times harder. You know what I mean? But I would say that's even more fun for the fans, though. You know what I mean? I would say it would be a treat to watch that. I think Bears fans deserve it. I think it would be a lot of fun. I especially myself personally, but I can also understand where it's like, you have a rookie quarterback. You don't want him to be in a situation to where, he's got too much lights in his face. You know what I mean? You just want him to focus on ball. You just want him to learn the system as quick as possible, learn his receivers. It's a Hard Knocks life. That's crazy. But yeah, man, it could be interesting. It could be a lot of fun to see the Bears on Hard Knocks. I think that would be really cool. I think that'd be good for the franchise. I know Bears fans roll deep. I've been to training camp a few times myself. I haven't gone since I believe 2019, if I'm not mistaken, 2020 or 20. I think no, 2019, because 2020 was COVID. They didn't have it. So, I think it would be dope. I think it would be a lot of fun. But again, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate you guys being here tonight. Excuse me. Make sure you tap that follow button if you haven't already. We're going to stay live on TikTok, but we're going to get off of Facebook and YouTube. So until then, we'll check you guys out later. This is Mike Hughes, aka the Shy Kid. Until next time, peace.
I love you.